Howdy ho. This is apparently my improvised kitchen. I'm still not sure where I'm supposed to be happy and grateful right now, because all I feel is anger. And what I can say is that I'm not really afraid of anger anymore. And that scares me a little, if that makes any sense. Now, I said I wouldn't eat wheat flour anymore. I have to say I don't actually give a shit anymore. I'm at a point in my life where I don't give a crap. And that feels a little bit dangerous, because I have no idea what's going to happen. Sometimes I pick fights with people that piss me off. And I feel like there's a lot of anger. And at this moment, I also feel like, if I would fight to the death. I don't really want to do that, but sometimes people just challenge me in really stupid ways, and I think, dude, be careful who you pick a fight with. Because I don't like you toying around with me. It doesn't mean that I'm really dangerous or anything, but I'm just really angry. And you don't pick fights with angry people unless you want to get punched. And that's what some people don't understand, right? They think they're I don't know what. They drive around in their cars, you've heard this story, I've said it already before. They drink their coffee, they feel pumped up, riled up. And I'm literally fighting for my life. And this is the path of the warrior, that you do what you must in order to survive. And what needs to survive is consciousness. And what needs to survive is the spirit of man. Because that's basically being trampled and being spat on by the industry and transgender and doctors that transform bodies from something that used to be male into something that is supposed to represent female. Yeah, and sometimes I'm not really sure where to draw the boundaries. But in a way, boundaries draw themselves, right? And there's also something other that I find weird. And what is that? It's this feeling that I have that I I don't even want a woman to come and love me. Because I actually like it the way it is now. Because I can literally do what I want. And if a woman would come now and would want to make love with me, I probably would be less angry. And what would that mean? Then I would have to rediscover who I am as a man. And that's why I probably would want a woman to be right, to support me in my masculinity rather than to try and downsize me. And that's something that I find important, to say the least. Because I am where I am, and I don't think it's gonna get very different from now on. I think this is my life, right? I've proven to myself at the very least that, I'm a fighter, that I can fight, and that I do know how to channel energy, and that I'm not afraid to use the energy to challenge other men isn't really the point. But what the point is for me is to just hold my ground, so I don't walk around the city and I pick fights. What I do is I walk around the city and when somebody starts talking to me, I react to it. So I was pulling my cart, and I came to a tight spot, if you will. And there was a dog lying there. And they told me I should just pull my cart around it. Why don't they tell the dog to move out of the way? It's like a tiny dog. I mean, I could just trample it, accidentally even. And so I made sure, I just stood there and waited till the dog left. And I think the owner of the dog, if it was the owner, but she was sitting at the table and she said something to me. Should I buy you shoes? I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, stop talking to me. And then the guy came and he wanted to pick a fight, and I don't know, I just started insulting him. And then he made himself big, and I said, sure, come, man. And then his friend stepped up and told him to sit down again. Because I don't know what I would do. I don't really care. I really have nothing to lose. Right? It's like, I'm really at the end of my game. I'm telling you, there's no way to stop anymore. Sometimes I try to engage with women and then they get scared, they run away. Not because I'm scary, it's just maybe they didn't really realize who they were talking to. Right? It's like some people are so used to it that others just back away from them. That they don't really know how it feels like to be scared to death. And I'm not saying these things to tell you to go out there and just pick fights, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm just protecting myself from people that try to take a piss on me. Because in a way you could say, this is my territory, this is my turf. You know, I grew up here, I've suffered here, I earned my place to be here. And that means if somebody comes and tries to trample me in my own city, and I'm getting a little bit angry, and, well, they don't know what I would do, which is basically nothing, but I know that they're afraid of the unknown, right? They're afraid of what I might do. And I can literally see how scared they are. But I'm not. And that's what scares me a little, like how far would I go in a situation? Because sometimes I let these situations happen on purpose just to see what is happening and what will happen. And until now what I realized is that nobody who tries to pick a fight with anyone knows what they're doing. It's like people, they try to pick a fight with me, they're like growling at me, or they say really stupid remarks. And when you challenge them, they just piss themselves and then they run away. And so I've been working with my fear, and I didn't work with my fear so that I could be the worst guy around. You know, I was working with my fear so I could just be free. And in a way I am free. But there's still a lot of things that make me really angry. And right, it's like, yeah, I just ate some cheese. And I'm about to make some cheese balls, right? You know, is that like something smart? Or should I just not? Also, I'm filming like this now because they actually fixed somebody was drilling holes and they hit the main electricity thing for my apartment. And then they fixed it and it actually worked. And when I came back, this room doesn't work and the bathroom also doesn't work. So that's why I'm cooking in the dark now. And that basically says something about my own life, because I've been cooking in the dark. You know, I'm cooking my own life in the dark. And I don't know what's going to come out of it. I don't know if there ever will be a woman. I don't know what woman. If I already met her, you know, I have a feeling of a woman, but until now, I don't really know anything. It's like really weird. And basically the only reason I'm making this now is because I'm really angry. And I just want to stuff myself with cheese, which is stupid. Because I could also better do something else. But I'm just really angry. So the only thing I feel like I can do is eat. Which is strange, certainly. Plus I have to put the oven into the living room. Which is weird also. But also alright to a certain degree. It's like when you're making a dough, it's important to knead it. You know, if I would have a really sturdy kitchen and it would be during the day, I would smash this thing onto to really loosen it up. Yeah, and sometimes I get this feeling, maybe somebody's going to contact me soon, but then it just doesn't happen. Which just confirms my feeling. You know, when I say somebody, I always think of a woman. And I'm not sure if I'm falling in love with somebody else. It's like weird. But yeah, so rather than having fights with people, it's actually better to just cook good food and to make yeah, I'm not really sure. Because that's now the other problem. Yeah, I could just eat this like that. Because I don't want to do anything. Right, I just want to eat a small pizza. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to make it too complicated. Wow. All right. This is actually for cookies, I think. I've never really used it. This is a really lazy meal, all right? But I like to, right, it's like I used baking powder for this dough. I don't want to make it too big. Right, this has no sitting time whatsoever. This is just a meal so I can stuff myself. This is frustration in your face, all right? So this is like tomato quinoa, right? Like I say, I don't feel like really cooking now. So I just take what I have available. This is some kind of dip. Yeah, and I'm just gonna put this on top of here. You could say it's actually wasting food. But rather than buying food from other people, I'm just gonna make my own. You know, I could order a pizza, or I just say, hey, I'll just do it myself. Something else I brought, which was a good choice, because if I wouldn't have brought this, yeah, I would just cut the cheese into slices. But it's alright. So the message is basically, don't just talk to people. Don't just make jokes. Because you don't know what kind of burden they're carrying. You don't know, man. You know, sometimes it's better to just say nothing to some people. Because you don't know what they've been through. And some people, they walk through life, and because nothing bad ever happens to them, they just trample on everybody. But then you may just meet that one guy who just says, you know what? Your ignorance is gonna come right into your face now. And I really mean that. I mean, it's not a joke when I say this. All right. This is this. I actually wanted to eat I want to make a coffee. But maybe now I'm just gonna eat this instead. Because I'm already angry. So I feel like I want to eat something that just like puts me into some kind of slumber. So it's good to realize when you are angry and that you are angry. And that's why it's good to pay attention also to your surroundings and who you're talking with. Because sometimes there's people, you know, they are so on edge. If you were to challenge them or make fun of them, they could kill you. And that's what you have to know also when you want to travel to other countries, because there are people that live on the streets. You know, they're just like at the end of the rope, constantly at the end of the rope. You know, you can be a violent man, but that doesn't mean that you have to be violent, right? You can be a violent man without wanting to hurt others. You know, I don't really want to hurt people. But a part of me sometimes does. And when you say things like this, right, people get a little bit concerned. Well, is he safe? Or is he going to turn out another psychopath that just kills everyone? You know, say, yeah. Because why do these things happen? Because this society is crazy, man. People are assholes. They're all riled up on sugar, so no wonder this society is producing psychopaths. And surgeons are psychopaths, because all they want to do is cut things open. They want to cut people open, and they get paid millions for that. So how am I supposed to see it? You know, people say I'm the crazy one. It's like, yeah, sure, man. Go and fund transgender movements so that young men can have their penises cut off. It's like, that's insane. So yeah, I don't even get close to that. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I feel like I want to drink coffee. And at the same time, I don't want to do it. It just seems like a little bit stupid. But sometimes you also feel like you want to drink a coffee. Because I'm also working with things, emotions, and I want to get them out. And the nice thing about having an oven like this is I can just carry it around, right? But I also realized that I talk to a lot of people that are really depressed. You know, I spend time with people that are really angry. And I also realized that this is the kind of burden that I carry then. So maybe I just have to learn to not feel righteous about my anger, but to simply accept that there is anger, and then learn to transform it into something else. And this something else can be food, right? You can take your anger, transform it into love, and make food out of it. And you can also make art out of it. So you know, sometimes I'm a little bit proud because I think, why should I drink a coffee? You know, I want to hold on to these feelings because when I drink coffee, it just pushes them out. And sometimes I don't want to do it. I want to hold on to this anger because it makes me feel powerful. It's weird, but somebody has to learn to let go of it. Yeah, sometimes you just don't know. Right? Do you leave the pizza in the oven? Do you take it out? Do you eat it now? Or do you drink a coffee? Do you drink tea? Do you hold on to your anger and let it power you? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Cheers.